Hello, I'm Vicky. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to guide you through a short and sweet express yoga flow. So this one is for you if you're maybe a little short on time today, but you still want to find some time for your yoga practice. So let's get started right away. We'll come into a wide knee child's pose. So bring your big toe mounds to touch. Send the knees out as wide as feels good for you. Sit back on the heels. Melt your heart down towards the mat, extending your arms out long. Forehead comes down to rest too. Take a big breath in through the nose. Fill your lungs with air. Breathe all the way into your low belly. Taking in one more sip. And then exhale, let it all go through the mouth with a sigh. Arriving in this moment right now and seeing if you can commit to staying in the present moment throughout this short practice, letting go of anything else. Just focusing on your movement and your breath and linking the two together. Nourishing mind and body. From here we'll spider the hands, so take the fingers out wide, press into your fingertips to lift the palms and the elbows. Forehead stays down on the mat. I'm just keeping mine lifted so that you can hear me. Breathing into the underarms, the shoulders, the upper back. Pausing for just a breath or two. And then lowering those arms down, round through to all fours. Bring the knees back in line with the hips and lower all the way down onto your belly. Find Sphinx pose with the elbows under the shoulders. Switch the glutes on to protect the low back. Lift the chest, shoulders away from the ears. And as you exhale, lower down, bringing the hands under the shoulders. Engage your core to move through tabletop position. And now tuck the toes. Sit back on the heels just for a breath to stretch out the soles of the feet. Round through to tabletop once more. Lift the knees, lift the hips. Find downward facing dog. Shake out the head left and right. Really push the mat away. Lift the hips up towards the sky. And when you're ready, bend the knees and begin to walk the feet towards the hands. And when they get there, take the feet slightly wider than hip distance apart and really melt your upper body over your legs with a big bend through the knees. Letting the arms, the shoulders and the head be really heavy here. Maybe even rocking back and forth just gently. Feeling those sensations, really breathing into them. The hamstrings, the back of the legs. And when you're ready, slowly rise up with your head and shoulders being the last thing to lift. When you get to standing, come to the top of your mat, bringing the big toe mounds to touch and a small space between the heels. All feet can be hip distance apart. Engage your core, and as you inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Look up at your thumbs as the palms come to touch. And as you exhale, lower your hands down towards your heart and then hinge at the hips as you fold forwards, leading with your heart. And then release your fingertips down in line with your toes. You can have a bend through the knees here in Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale to lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. And exhale, plant the hands and step back to a plank pose. From here, use your toes to send your body forwards. And now you can lower down to your knees if that feels better for you, or keep the knees lifted. But wherever you are, lower down halfway, keeping the elbows close to the ribs. And then roll over the feet, find upward facing dog. You can always substitute this for a cobra if that feels best for you today. As you exhale, roll over the feet once more, find downward facing dog. Push the mat away. Inhale, lift your right leg high, spread the toes, and as you exhale, step that right foot through to the front of your mat and rise up to a high lunge. From here, interlace the hands behind the head, lift your heart, lift your gaze if that feels good. Open out the elbows away from one another. Inner thighs hug in towards the midline. Now coming into neutral position with the spine and your gaze, release your hands and pivot on the back foot, finding your warrior two. The arms extend long, gaze out over your right middle finger. Now straighten the front leg, but keep just a micro bend in the knee to support the joint. And as you inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, bring the arms back to a T. And as you inhale, send the upper body forwards. And exhale, take Trikonasana, triangle pose. Your gaze can be up towards your left thumb if that feels okay, or out in front of you. But wherever you are, try and use your core strength here to keep a lift so that you're not collapsing into your right hip, but instead you're lengthening your spine. Inhale, use the core strength to rise up, and exhale, bend the right knee, warrior two. Breathe in through the nose. On your next exhale, windmill the hands down to your mat, step back to your plank position and move through your vinyasa. Option to take chaturanga and upward facing dog, or lower down to your belly and take a cobra. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift the left leg high, spread the toes, and as you exhale, step through to your lunge position. We'll interlace the hands behind the head, but this time, other thumb on top. The elbows open up away from one another as you lift your heart, lift your gaze if that feels okay, and then come back to neutral and make your way into warrior two. Gazing out over your left middle finger. Straighten the front leg, remembering to keep a micro bend there for support on the joint. And inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, bring the arms back to a T, and as you inhale, send the upper body forwards. And exhale, Trikonasana, triangle pose on the other side, remembering to keep your core strength in mind here for that small lift so you're not collapsing into the left hip. Gazing up towards the right thumb if that feels okay. And as you inhale, lift up using your core, and exhale, warrior two. Breathe in through the nose once more, and exhale, windmill the hands, step back to your plank pose, and move through your vinyasa once more. Inhaling for upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high and spread the toes. And as you exhale, bring your shoulders over your wrists, round your back as you draw your right knee in towards your forehead. And from here, we'll place the right knee down behind the right wrist, sending the foot out towards your left for a pigeon pose. Bring your hands towards your hips so you can lift your heart, puffing the chest like a pigeon. Remembering that we never want to feel any pain. So if this is painful, then it means you've gone too far and you need to back off. So you can do that by drawing your right heel in closer towards your pelvis. When you're ready, begin to fold forwards, coming down to maybe the forearms, or even extending the arms out long and bringing the forehead down to rest. Wherever you are, finding a shape that works best for you today. And we'll pause here for 5 breaths. Lift the head, bring the hands under the shoulders, tuck the left toes and lift the back knee. Round the back as you push into your hands to lift up, finding downward facing dog. Bumping the hips left and right, and then back to neutral. And as you inhale, lift your left leg high, spread the toes. And exhale, left knee to forehead, shoulders over the wrists. And then finding pigeon pose on the other side, so left knee behind left wrist. Both hips face forwards in pigeon pose. Walking the hands back towards the hips, finding that lift through the heart. And when you're ready, fold forwards once more. We'll be here for 5 more breaths. Lift the head, bring hands under the shoulders, tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, push into the mat as you round your back. Downward facing dog, last one of the day. Make it your best one yet. Really push that mat away. Lift your hips high. Draw your heels down towards the mat. No worries if they don't get there. And it's absolutely fine to have a bend through the knees if that feels best for you. From here, lower the knees down to the mat. Send the feet out to one side as you come to sit down. And then keep a bend through the knees as you plant your feet out in front of you. Your arms reach out in front of you with the palms facing forwards, and use your core strength to lower down all the way onto your back. Nice and slow. When you get there, hug your right knee into your chest and use your left hand to pull that knee up and over the body for a twist. Your right arm goes out to your right. Maybe your gaze follows. Gently guide the leg back through center and then extend it out long on your mat as you hug your left knee in this time. And same thing, pull the leg up and over to your right. The left arm extends out long, your gaze maybe follows. And just with every exhale, feeling gravity do its work. Feeling that left shoulder and left knee being naturally pulled down closer to the earth. Guiding the knee back through center, bending both knees now, and finding happy baby, taking hold of the outside edges of the feet, flexing the feet as if you're about to walk on the ceiling. And if this isn't accessible to you, you can take hold of the ankles instead, or even the inner arches of the feet. So just finding what works best for you and your body. And then use your hands to guide the knees in closer towards the armpits. Go ahead and close the eyes. Begin to deepen the breath here. Letting go of any tension in the face, softening through the jaw, corners of the eyes, the eyebrows. And then gently releasing and guiding the two knees towards one another. And then over to one side as you roll onto that side, and then gently make your way to a seated position on your mat. Bringing your hands to heart center, sit tall as you lift your heart to meet your thumbs. Keeping the eyes closed for now. See if you can bring to mind somebody or something that you feel grateful for today. Allowing that feeling of gratitude to just wash through your body, noticing how it feels, and perhaps dedicating this practice to that somebody or that something. And we'll finish today with one more big cleansing breath in through the nose, and a big breath out through the mouth. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Namaste.